Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another game for Teamfight Tactics. Unfortunately, I missed the loading screen for this game. I didn't manage to click the recording button until we had just gotten into the lobby, but this is a Teamfight Tactics game taken from the public beta environment, the PBE, some more early set 11 footage, and this is taken from a double-up game that I'm playing together with JDP El Grillo. Now, you do definitely get a lot of weird stuff when it's when it's PBE double up. Definitely kind of a Wild West environment here, but we've been doing some of these games. I'm really glad that the two-player mode has been enabled here for set 11. It's definitely been more fun to play than the single-player mode. This game, we're going to be looking at, I guess what I'd call the Porcelain Potpourri game, which is I'm going to try to play through the Porcelain trait, largely because I got this early Amumu, and I thought that it would be useful to try to play through this trait. But it ended up just kind of being a grab bag of all different kinds of things, but I wanted to try to test out Porcelain and see what I could do with this one. Highlighting it on the, well, I was highlighting it on the screen there. I'll go ahead and read the formal description of the Porcelain trait, although I don't think I actually get it in on this team for a little while. Porcelain is after casting Porcelain champions boil, gaining attack speed and taking less damage for 3 seconds. So after they cast their ability, they get attack speed and they take less damage. The damage reduction is pretty significant. It's 20% reduced damage on Porcelain 2, and then it goes up from there. But that is after using their ability, and unfortunately these units do tend to have relatively high mana costs, I believe. It's Lux, who is a 2-cost, 75 mana. Lysandra, who's a 5-cost, 100 mana. Ashe, who's a 4-cost, 80 mana. And Amumu, who's a 3-cost, who is 100 mana. So unfortunately, none of these champions are going to be spam casting or anything like that. Yeah, when they get cast their ability, they do get a big amount of damage reduction. Okay, so first augment, it is prismatic, and out of these different options, I wasn't too clear about this one's kind of interesting. At what cost? Immediately go to level 6. You don't get to choose your future augments. I wasn't quite sure what that made. I thought about picking that just because it was very novel, but I decided let's just go ahead and take level up. We'll just try to rush to higher levels, and then on higher levels, we will just try to find more of these units. I think that there was some synergy with trying to play level up in a team comp that's trying to go into Porcelain. And yes, by the way, I can still put another unit on the board, so I might as well do that. Just stick Teemo on the board right now. And that's because most of the Porcelain units are higher cost units. None of them are inexpensive units. As I said, there's a 2-cost Lux, a 3-cost Amumu, a 4-cost Ashe, and then a 5-cost in Lysandra. So these are all more expensive units. They're not going to show up at early points in time in the game, so it's better to just get to a higher level and go from there. At the moment, I don't really have that much in the way of a carry, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put these items on Teemo. Teemo does deal magic damage. He can hold these for some kind of future AP unit later on, somebody who deals magic damage. The other thing I'll mention is our portal was everybody gets a support item to start the game. So I have gone ahead and taken the Needlessly Big Gem, and I believe Grillo has also taken the Needlessly Big Gem as well. This one's really good for generating income. You get a little ticking counter in the corner of the map. It takes 15 seconds. And if it hits 0, then you get 1 gold coin for every 2 units that are on the board. So I think I actually got 2 gold that round because I think I still had 4 units alive at that point in time. We've also gotten our first encounter of the match. This is the set mechanic here in set 11. This is that you will randomly run into various characters from League of Legends, and they will have some kind of unique effect. That's the idea behind this encounter thingy. And apparently the one that we're getting here is for the next 3 rounds, rerolls will only cost 1 gold. This one is not terribly impactful if you get it on stage 2-2 because people are not usually re-rolling on 2-2, 2-3, 2-4. Like, these are not stages where you would typically be re-rolling the shop. I did get this one in a game. I'm recording this on a Friday. We did some Friday games on the public beta environment. I wouldn't say they went amazingly well for me. Not my best day, but we had this one in one of those games, and it actually griefed me super duper hard because it showed up at I think it was on the beginning of stage 5. It was either the end of stage 4 or beginning of stage 5. And it did the same thing. It was your shop rerolls only cost 1 gold. Well, I had taken Prismatic Ticket, so I already had like super cheap rerolls. Prismatic Ticket gives you free rerolls. It's like every time that the shop is refreshed, you have, I don't know, 40% odds to get more. You get like 40% odds to get another shop refresh for free. So I already had this benefit from my augment, and then it basically gave everybody super cheap rerolls for free at a time when basically everyone was rerolling their shop. So that trolled me like super duper hard. Like I said, giving everybody a whole bunch of one cost rerolls when everybody was already like right at level 9 and rolling down, and they just got to do that basically for free. Or nearly for free. I mean, I guess it wasn't for free, but very, very inexpensively. So that's the downside to these encounters. Sometimes, like, it's just random stuff happens periodically throughout the game, and sometimes it's going to hit your board really hard, and sometimes it's just going to completely whiff your board. I don't really like this set mechanic. I'm not a big fan of the overall way that this is shaping up. It's probably not a good sign that we're like 3 days into the set being on PBE, and I'm already like, I'm already like, can I just play the game and not have these stupid encounters, like doing random stuff that may or may not help me and may actually torpedo my game against my will? Not a great sign for what's going to be the big set mechanic. So I don't know. The rest of the set's pretty cool, but the encounters are, I don't know, not a big fan. Anyway, though, let's actually get back to what's going on in this game. So as I said, I'm trying to play through Porcelain trait. The only Porcelain unit I've seen thus far has been a Moo. I've not seen any Luxes yet. Would not have expected any of the other units to show up. I have picked up some Wardens for Frontline. So a Moo is a Warden. And then I'm playing Garen as well, who is also a Warden, because I randomly hit 2-star Garen. And then because I randomly had 2-star Garen, and then I randomly hit 2-star Sivir, well, all those are Story Weaver units. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I might as well play Story Weaver for right now as well. Not something I was planning on playing, but it's just kind of where the gameplay led me to. And then because I have level up and I get cheap levels, I went ahead and leveled to 6 here. So this is a very aggressive play, leveling to level 6 here. I have taken my economy all the way down to 0 gold. So I kind of need to win rounds in order to do this. And it's not like I was even on a full win streak either. I won the first 2 rounds, lost the 3rd round. So whether this is a good move or not is debatable. But I think I have the potential to win streak here. I think that being on a higher level is going to help. And the other thing is, note that I did get additional coins here. So there is also some synergy with the big gem as well. Because remember, after 15 seconds tick away, I'm going to get a gold coin for every 2 units that are alive on my board. And playing more units on your board makes it easier to generate the gold. I also did get the extra unit from Story Weaver? Is that the official name? Story Weaver. That provides a new unit on your board. It gives you Kale. It's this set's version of as you play more into the trait, you get an extra unit. We've had this in a lot of past sets, like Country. This was Country in the last set that we just recently had. So I actually have 7 units on my board right now on 2/6. So as long as those units are alive, they're going to keep generating extra income for me after 15 seconds. And I do actually have a pretty solid front line for this stage in the game. That's usually what you want to see is, do you have enough front line for that to survive? So right now I have 6 units on my board. It looks like a Moo is going to die, but I should still get 2 gold out of this. Yep, there we go. 2 gold popping out. Very nice. And so that gets me back over 10 gold again, even though I had to buy a Nico and send it over to Grillo's board, but I was happy to do that, and it looks like together we're going to win this round. Unfortunately, both of us dropped 1 round over the course of stage 2, so we're not on full win streak. We both, it looks like Grillo lost the first round of the game, and then I lost the 3rd round of the game, something like that. But we do look like we had a good stage 2 overall. All right, so just to cover some of the traits I'm playing, I mentioned Story Weaver. That's not going to be the focus of this video. But in terms of the Story Weaver trait, here's the official description. Story Weavers summon a hero named Kale and evolve her. Story Weavers gain maximum health. Each Story Weaver star level increases Kale's health and ability power. Kale gains 10% attack speed for each game stage. So it puts Kale on the board. The more ranks of Story Weaver you have in, the stronger Kale gets. Does also give Story Weavers additional health. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 Story Weaver units in the game. If you play all 7 of them, which does require finding, who's the top tier? Is that Aurelia? Yeah, it does require finding Aurelia. If you can find Aurelia and play all 7 of them, then it's actually pretty strong. Alternately, if you get +1 Story Weaver from like an augment or an emblem, then you can play 7 Story Weaver without having to find Aurelia, and that works out pretty well. Other thing I have in here, I have the Trick Shot trait. I'm playing Teemo and Sivir, who are both Trick Shots. This is a trait that's, at least in this build of PBE, pretty underpowered. Doesn't seem to be very good. Trick Shot's abilities ricochet. Each ricochet deals a percentage of the previous bounce's damage, so they get the bouncing damage. I'm trying to remember what trait was like this. I think Sharpshooter trait did this in one of the previous sets, or maybe 2 previous sets. But yeah, so when they use their attacks, the shots ricochet basically. As I said, it has felt like a pretty underpowered trait on the PBE thus far, so has not seemed to be that good. All right, anyway, there the gem's going to go off. I actually got 3 gold that time because I still had 6 units alive. I'm going to get reinforced on, so not sure if I would win against both of these boards, but thankfully Grillo also won his round. So with his help, it looks like we've got this, and we're just kind of rolling here. Again, I still have not seen any... my plan was to play the Porcelain setup because I got that early Amumu, but I have not seen even 1 Porcelain unit the remainder of the game since then, so that's wild. Okay, Lucky Ricochet is here. If I wanted to play into Trick Shots, I could take that, but I really don't want to play into Trick Shots. I'm looking at the different options here. I was like, maybe Magic Wand or Portable Forge, but then I see this Idealism. Gain a Hand of Justice. Units holding a Hand of Justice gain 12% increased damage. I was like, you know what? I think this is the right item to pick up. Oh, and by the way, remember how I said I hadn't seen any Porcelain units the whole game? And then there's 3 Amumus in the store simultaneously. I was like, what the heck? Okay, I'll definitely take this. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Hand of Justice, and the main reason is that I have 2 more tiers on my bench right there. I have an Amumu with a tier, or not an Amumu, a Teemo with a tier, and then also a Sivir with a tier. So I was like, I can definitely make at least 1 more of these Hand of Justices, maybe 2 more Hand of Justices. That's probably the best way I can use these various tiers on my bench. So I think that this is useful because I can make multiple versions of the super-powered Hand of Justice, and then I'll find some unit to put them on. I can definitely put one on Ashe, and then I can probably put one on Lysandra as well, and then we'll see what else we can do from there. Now, here's something that's sad. I actually win the round before the gem goes off, so I actually don't get the gem payout this round because I won the round too fast. You actually don't get the gold if you win faster than 15 seconds. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty disappointing, especially because I really need that gold. I'm very poor at the moment because I made that play to level to 6 on, what was that? I think it was on 2-5 after the carousel. I went to level 6 super early, so I did kind of kill my economy by doing that. I've also been hitting a lot of units, so this is not a bad thing. Like I said, oh wait, never mind. The gold was there on my board. I guess I did get it, but not until the start of the next round because it triggered when I was over on Grillo's board. So I guess I did get the gold eventually. That's not as bad as I thought. But it didn't kick in until the start of the next round. So yeah, I probably would go to level 7 here, but there's nothing for me to put in. As I said, I've also hit enough units that my board is actually fairly expensive. I have mostly 2 stars, so I have not seen Porcelain units, but I think I've done a pretty good job of playing around just other random stuff that I could fit in. Like I said, I've got the Garen for Warden trait. I was not planning on playing Storyweaver in this game at all, but that's kind of where I've ended up. Here's another person playing Storyweaver. They actually have Storyweaver 5 in. They took the same initial one that I did, which is that Kale gives attack speed to both herself and the 2 units standing next to her. And then also another one, which is she has a 6% stacking attack speed. Now, I think I'm not 100% sure if I would win this or not, but fortunately, Grillo's there to make it an academic exercise and keep that win streak going. I really need to keep this win streak going because, as I said, that's kind of my whole econ right now is the win streak. Although I guess I did make it back to 38 gold, so who knows. You might say sell the Amumu on the bench to get to 40 gold, but I'm hoping that I might be able to 3-star Amumu. I do have 4 of them pretty early on, so there's a non-trivial chance to try to hit 3-star Amumu, which would be very, very strong in a Porcelain composition. As I said, I'm planning on playing 4 Porcelain. Also would not have minded getting that Amumu. That would get me to 5 Amumus, and the bow would be useful to have, but that's not there, so I will take the glove. We'll go ahead and make one of those Hand of Justices that I said, so I can continue getting more value out of my augment. I want to have multiple Hand of Justices because they can go. A Hand of Justice can go on almost any carry and be at least a decent item. Plus, it gives them that benefit, 12% extra damage, which is not bad at all. So we'll just put that one on Teemo. And again, the random 2-star Teemo, random 2-star Sivir. I still have this Caitlyn on my board who's a 1-cost sniper. She literally has none of her traits in, so I don't know what any of that is. This was the gift round in Double Up. If you watched some of the previous videos I did, you might have seen that the gift rounds for Double Up were bugged prior to this. I did some games with Headwinder, and the games were super buggy. The gift rounds just didn't work. They locked you out of your shop completely. But that has finally been fixed. That was fixed in like the 2nd day of PBE or 3rd day of PBE, something like that. So now the 2-player mode, the gift rounds actually go back to working again. Once again, I would definitely level here. It's very cheap for me to level with Level Up Augment, but like what would I put in? I don't have anything to put in, so yeah, it's just gonna stay here. I've actually been at level 6 for an extremely long time. I've been here for 8 rounds now. Because I went to level 6 so early. Not often you spend this much time on level 6, but I just didn't have much to put in, didn't have things that could make me stronger. Does look like this round is going to be a definite loss, though. This board has diamond hands. Looks like they have a decent number of bruisers over there, so I'm going to lose, but oh, the last second. Grillo comes in and saves my board, which is super nice because I want to keep this win streak intact, and that's going to take it up to 6 rounds. So that is a huge deal. Just a humongous deal. My board is, you know, I've been doing a good job of playing around what I've hit, I think, but I really have not been hitting the units I was intending to play. I'm mostly just trying to level as fast as possible so I can go try to just play more expensive units using Level Up Augment. And yeah, again, got some better unit. Like I have the Kaisa showing up. She's a more expensive trick shot. But I'm still not going to look to play her. I will just put in the Tom Kench to get another bruiser unit to go with the Aurelia. I only had Aurelia in because I wanted Storyweaver trait, but she is giving me bruiser trait as well, so might as well stay in there. I had the feeling she's going to be on a lot of boards, Aurelia, because she has 3 very useful traits. She has bruiser trait, which is a useful frontline trait, and then she has Storyweaver, that's probably the least useful of her traits, and then she has altruist trait, which is a very, very handy utility ability. It gives the entire team armor and magic resistance, and it also causes damage they deal to heal the lowest health ally. Like as the altruist units deal damage, they heal the allies, the lowest health ally on their team. So like I said, a very useful utility setup. This board does not look very strong at all. They have 3-star Cogmaw, but they don't really seem to have too much else around the Cogmaw. So gonna win that pretty easily. And now for once, I'm going to come over to Grillo's board. I think he probably had this round anyway, but it's now no longer much of a question. I guess this unit over here in the corner was pretty tanky. What was that? I couldn't even see what unit that was, but we're going to win. And so both of us were able to go on full win streak through all of stage 3. And then, by the way, just immediately hit the 2-star Tom Kench, which is quite nice. Tom was a very nice unit in this set. Bruiser plus Mystic, a Mythic trait. Not Mystic, Mythic trait. So as I said, I'm planning on playing Warden frontline, but because I hit this 2-star Tom, I'm like, all right, maybe I play 2 Warden and then 2 Bruiser. I think that frontline can mix together and be fairly strong. Over on the other side, Grillo is just playing a mixture of like everything. He doesn't have any one particular trait in play. Oh, by the way, look what I've got here. Yeah, I finally get a Lux, by the way, so I would like to play Lux on this board somehow. And then I have some other... I actually got 2 Luxes that round, so okay. So I do want to get this unit on the board. It's only 32 to level because I have level up augment, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll see if we need to stick around here or it can go to a higher... or if I can... I was trying to figure out, do I roll here? Do I just try to fast 9? And I was going to try to see how this like next round or 2 went and then figure out if I needed to roll or go fast 9 from here. By the way, note when I got yet another tier. I've gotten so many tiers in this game. So I've already made a Shojin. I've already made a Hand of Justice. I also got another Hand of Justice out of my Augment. But that's 4 tiers the game has given me. Yeah, 4 tiers. So as I said, I made a Shojin. I made a Hand of Justice. I got a free Hand of Justice out of my Augment. By the way, 4 gold from Needlessly Large Gem. And then 2 more tiers. So I'm like, all right, well, I hope I can get some more gloves. And then at some point, I need to get more frontline items, too, because Amumu just has a Sunfire Cape and a Cloak. Really could use more in that regard, too. But I'm going to have to figure out something. It's not often you get 4 of the same component in this game. And sadly, I don't really have a good setup to make like blue buff with the double tiers, but I might Might have to if I can't get something better. It is double up, so you do get more items in double up than you do in the single player mode. So there's that to consider. For instance, I did think about taking big grab bag here, but I was like, you know what? I think I have enough of that. All right, so here we definitely get some hits. I'm going to hit the Ash. So we'll put her in. That gets me to 3 Porcelain. Now I need to find Lysandra, who's the 5 cost. I also find Azir, who is an Invoker. He's the 5 cost Invoker. I was like, you know what? I just took Sivir off my board. So I lost the Storyweaver trait. Kale's gone. I was like, do I just sell the Teemo and put these items on Azir? I was like, I kind of think that might be the way to go here because Teemo has neither of his traits in. No Fortune trait and also no, what's the other one? The Ricochet trait. Trick Shot is the official name. So I was like, I think maybe I just sell the Teemo and put these items on Azir because, yeah, that would be nice. As far as Ashe goes, her traits are Porcelain and Sniper. So I have the Kate in for Sniper trait. I definitely want someone with Sniper trait. I don't know if Kate's the right choice. Kate is a 1-cost unit. So I'll have to decide whether I want to keep her or replace her with someone else. But, you know, Ashe is a 4-cost carry. She's pretty solid. I'll try to read her ability description here in a second. Let's just see if we can finish up this round. This one's pretty close, but looks like we're able to win this again with Grillo coming over in support. And I got more gold payout from my needlessly large gem. Definitely think that level up plus the needless plus the big gem have a lot of synergy here. Get extra gold every round, toss it into XP, get to higher levels. Just play lots of 4 and 5 cost units once you get to higher levels. So definitely leveling pretty fast here. And we're still on this long win streak, which has delivered a lot of money. And oh, by the way, there's another Azir. Okay, so we're going to take out the Garen and replace with Nautilus. That's another Mythic unit. So I'm actually at 2 out of 3 Mythic right now. Mythic is the Warlord, basically the Warlord trait from set 4 brought back again. It gives health and armor. It's health and ability power and attack damage. And you get more of the benefit the longer you play the trait. Alrighty. So I'm going to get an Ashe from Grillo that gets me to 2 out of 3 Ashes, so that's a good sign. He's been sitting on 8 Sorakas for a while, but I haven't seen a Soraka in ages, so I would very much like to get him a Soraka for his board, just so we can make the Soraka 3-star. Soraka also has some useful traits. She's Altruist and Heavenly, so 2 traits that are really, really valuable from like a utility perspective. So I suspect she's going to be used on a lot of boards as well. All right, this round we're trying to cut through the enemy board that had the diamond hands, but this time Grillo's not going to be able to come in and save me. I am in fact going to lose this round, sadly. So my big win streak did come to an end, but I'm not too surprised. And because we have 91 health, I decided I would just greed to level 9. I would not try to roll on level 8. I would just greed to level 9 and go from there. I do spot that there is an Azir on this carousel, so that could be a Azir 2-star if that's still there by some chance. I didn't expect it to be, but I was like, you know, if they're going to let me take Azir, this is literally a Azir 2-star. He doesn't really fit the board I'm playing, but like, yes, I will play a 2-star 5 cost at this stage of the game. Yeah, sure. We can make room for him. He has Invoker traits, so we can just play another Invoker. And at this point, I was like, wait a minute, I have 2 out of 3 Mythic, and I'm going to get Invoker trait in with the Azir. I think the unit I need now is Lilia because she would give me Mythic trait and she would also give me Invoker trait as well. So you know what? We can just take the items off Teemo and put them on the Azir. That's got to be better, right? Has to be better. All right, we do still need to get Lysandra at some point too. The Wukong's going to go over to Grillo because he's going to be better. That's right. I also could just take out the Lux, who's not doing anything. But I did decide, yeah, let's just move these items over to Azir. That's got to be good. And then we've also still got this bow. I'll definitely make some kind of a bow item on Ashe. All right, well, as far as what these units do, just to cover them real quickly, I said I wanted to go through what Ashe did. She's basically your standard backline auto attacker. Ability is called Rain of Shards. Passive, start with 15 arrows. Gain an arrow every 3 attacks. Active, fire a volley split between the current target and the 3 closest enemies within range. Deals physical damage per stored arrow for a total of physical damage. So the more she attacks, the more arrows she gets. So she scales up over the course of the fight. But she's basically your standard backline auto attacker. Nothing too crazy there. It was Azir who did the most damage in that fight, though. Even though he has none of his traits in, he does not have Dryad trait in. He does not have Invoker trait in either, but he is fully itemized and he's a 2-star 5 cost, so, you know, that's pretty good. All right, Cho'Gath, here's one of the more interesting encounters. Cho'Gath offers you a boon if you sate his hunger. You can lose a shop slot forever to gain 3 component anvils. definitely a possibility here. I was like, do I want to do this? But I ended up declining this. And the reason why is I haven't really done my roll down yet. Like, I don't want to lose those slots. I want to make sure I still have those slots for my roll down. Anyway, here I realized that I had an Aphelios, so I'm going to put him on the board. He's a better unit than Kate. He's a 3-cost sniper as opposed to a 1-cost sniper. And then I found Xayah and Rakan, who I would really like to get on this board somehow. I'm not sure if I end up playing this. Rakan is really overpowered in this particular build of PBE. They actually gave him a whole bunch of nerfs, and he's still really overpowered even after that. Just like a super, super strong unit. He doesn't really fit this board, but I'd like to try to get him on here anyway, if possible. The thing is, though, I'm already fitting in an Azir who doesn't fit my board, so it's going to be hard to squeeze Rakan onto this board as well. All right, this round's pretty close. We're actually getting double reinforcements at the same time. Grillo's board coming over, and then this person's teammate also coming over. Grillo just hit the 3-star Soraka, and yeah, Soraka, who's supposed to be a support unit, is actually carrying his team pretty hard. So we're able to win that round, and that's very nice, and Grillo still hasn't lost a round in ages. All right, I was telling Grillo to look for Lilias because Lilia really fills in the missing pieces on my board, but he has not going to need to do that because I found Lilia myself. So as I said, that's going to put Mythic trait in play, gives extra health, ability power, and attack damage to the Mythic units, stacks up over 3 rounds, and then also puts Invoker trait in play, which is going to generate mana for the whole team, which is really, really nice. Now, I could go to level 10 and put in Rakan for Altruist trait, which I don't have. But alternately, I could also just take out Riven and play a better frontliner. Someone else with Bruiser trait that's just a better unit. So that's also a possibility as well. All right, now I finally want to start rolling. Like I said, I haven't rolled the entire game. Now I really want to do that. The unit I'm missing is Lysandra. She is a 5-cost, but I actually am level 9. It kind of feels like I'm only level 8 here, but I actually am level 9, believe it or not. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish itemizing Ash. This does leave me with some leftover tiers that I can't really use, but I just need to find the Lysandra right now for 4 Porcelain, and that's the unit I would slot in. Otherwise, I think my team's looking pretty good here. Yeah, like hitting 2-star Nautilus is good. My front line's still a little bit shaky here. I've never been able to find any more Amumu's beyond the 5 that I have right now. So what else did I get in? I managed to get Exalted trait in. I'm also grabbing Nico's because Grillo's playing Nico as one of his primary frontliners, and if I can find a 2-star Nico, that would be a good unit to send. So I have Exalted trait in, I have Mythic trait in, Bruiser, Invoker, Sniper, Warden. Warden and Bruiser are, of course, frontline tank traits. Sniper boosts Ash's damage, does more damage to units that are further away on the screen. And as I said, Exalted is the other trait that's kind of interesting. This one, the units that are Exalted change every single game from game to game. Your team gains bonus damage plus more based on your level. After combat, store 1 XP in a soul core, sell the core to claim the XP. So you can kind of save up experience in this soul core and then get the XP from selling it. The main thing it does is it costs an extra bench space, which is kind of annoying. Well, we had a gift round here, and it turned out that one of the options was a Tactician's Crown. And I was like, well, if you can afford it, Grillo, obviously I'll take the Tactician's Crown if you can afford that. So good guy Grillo, able to give me a significant portion of his economy so I can have this. So, okay, now I just get to play another unit. So I was like, oh, okay, so now I really need Lysandra on my board because that's going to get 4 Porcelain in. There's the Rakan. I should just play this for right now. I can also put Xayah on here, but it's definitely better to play the Rakan, even though, again, none of the traits are in. But that's still not the unit that I want. So I'm going to need to keep rolling here for the time being. By the way, Tactician's Crown does have stats on it now. It didn't used to have stats. It gives a very small amount of stats to the unit you put it on. So I was like, all right, I'll just put this on Nautilus because why not? So yeah, I have the Rakan in right now. Rakan gives all kinds of crowd control to the team. He like dashes into the middle of the enemy team and puts a whole bunch of CC down. All right, so yeah, wow, that fight was pretty close. And then suddenly it wasn't close. Yeah, that's because Azir got off a really, really good cast in the middle of that fight. So what does Azir do in terms of his ability? Well, I'll read this for you right now. Ability is called Blight. Fire a beam through the current target, dealing magic damage to enemies hit. Spawn a guardian adjacent to the first enemy hit. The guardian does not move or attack. So yeah, he like kind of shoots out a beam that deals magic damage and then puts down, it says guardian, but it's basically a sand soldier, and then it's another unit that the enemy team has to kill. So yeah, that's the setup there. Here I decide I'll take out the Rakan and I'll play this Syndra instead. Syndra's going to give me Arcanist trait. I can just play Syndra until I actually end up finding Lysandra. Both Syndra and Lysandra have Arcanist trait, but Syndra's going to have the Porcelain trait and get me up to 4 Porcelain, which is what I want. By the way, yet another Azir in the store as well. So, I mean, I'm all capped out on Azirs. I don't need more of them. I'm also sitting on 5 Ashes and 5 Amumus in case we ever can get close to them. We are down to just 2 other teams in the lobby, by the way. Not many more enemies still left for us to deal with. But this team's on 28 HP. This is the team playing Bruisers. They have a very heavy Bruiser setup. And then they have Kog'Maw for their damage in the back. But it looks like they just don't have that much damage. Like, their team's very tanky, but I don't think that they actually have that much damage. The Kog'Maw, who's a 1 cost, they do have a 3-star Cog, but it's a 1 cost that they've rerolled for. Just falls off, of course, by the end of the game and is kind of struggling to compete with some of these units. Now it's time for another gift round here, or not a gift round, another carousel here. There's a whole bunch of emblems on this one, so I was like, oh, maybe can I use any of these? I'm looking through here. I was like, you know, Udyr with this Umbral emblem, I think I can probably play this. Udyr's another really good unit, so maybe we can just put him on the board. The Umbral emblem is going to be good because I already have the I'm playing the Silas for Bruiser trait, so I can put the Umbral on somebody. I also realized, you know, I can also potentially go to level 10 here. Again, I have level up augment. It's not that expensive to do. I was like, you know what? Let's maybe just go ahead and try to do that, shall we? It's only 40 gold to level. They made going to level 9 and going to level 10 much cheaper here. So unfortunately now I can't. I don't have enough bench space to pick this up. There it goes. I got another Ash coming over from Grillos. That puts me to 6 Ashes. And I actually sold the XP core after I was already level 10, and you can't level up anymore. So whoops, that was maybe not the best decision to do that. But I needed the extra bench space. I was just trying to clear it out, and I sold that without really thinking too much about what was going on. Anyway, Azir gets off an awesome cast again, but he's gonna die. Now it's up to Ash, and it looks like we're just barely stronger than that other team. That was the Storyweaver team that had the Kale. So we're gonna knock them down to 1 HP. And can I finally get 4 Porcelain in? I've played the entire game without getting 4 Porcelain in. I'm really hoping we can get this. Oh, by the way, this one is guess the outcome of your next fight. Teemo grants a reward if you're correct. I'll win, reward 14 gold. I'll lose, reward 7 gold. We realized the other team was on 1 HP. So we were like, I think we need to take the I'll lose option, because if we win the rounds, the game's just over and it does nothing for us. But if we take the I'll lose option, then yeah, we have a chance. If the game goes on, it'll actually do something. Okay, well, yeah, I'm finally going to find the Lysandra. So I finally have the 4 Porcelain in. So that's not bad. And now I'm going to try to send this Wukong over to Grillo, but I think he said he had just hit Wukong 2-star himself. I wanted to have more time to keep rolling, but I actually didn't quite have time to finish this up. But still, 4 Porcelain finally in, 4 Exalted, 3 Mystic, 2 Arcanist, 2 Bruiser, 2 Invoker, 2 Sniper, 2 Umbral. I'm playing a lot of Legendary units. I'm actually very close to Ash 3-star. We're only 2 off right now, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get time to continue rolling for this. And by the way, once again, the needlessly big gem just printing so much gold at this stage of the game. Getting like 4 or 5 gold every single round because we're in late game where my board has a ton of units on it. The Bruiser team takes a while to kill because they have so much health, but it doesn't really matter. Ash and Azir end up carrying this one. So yeah, the Ash, the unit I intended to be my carry. The Azir not. The Azir I just randomly hit, but hey, I played around it and it definitely worked. Now, unfortunately, this game also crashed on the the ending screen. You're going to see right here, it just says your session has expired. Please log in to continue. I'll go ahead and put a static screenshot up so you can maybe under the screenshot see what units I was playing at least a little bit. But I mean, again, it's the public beta environment. It's pretty buggy. So yeah, we won this one on 91 HP. Not bad. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, kind of a good example of just making it up as you go along and having it work out. So until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.